James 5:2. Loeb has woken up his rich neighbors with the whistle, but when he comes back into his own room, he finds that his own dirty laundry is starting to rot and is being eaten by moths. He blows the whistle in alarm. James 5:3. This one has two parts. First, Loeb continues his rounds by running into the bathroom. But water from the dripping shower hits the whistle, and when he tries to blow it here, it doesn't make any sound. He looks inside the whistle to see what's wrong. "Oh no," he says, "the metal inside the whistle is corroded. What am I going to do? I knew I should have fixed that leaky shower. Now this whistle is evidence against me that I failed to do it." Then he remembers he's afraid of corroded metal, so he drops the whistle into the sink. He has this strange belief that when metal is corroded in any way, it turns into acid, so he drops it to avoid having it eat his skin like fire. Second, when Loeb realizes the whistle is safe, he makes sure to pick it back up. The metal in the whistle is very precious, and he doesn't want to lose it. He decides he'll make sure to keep the whistle as a treasure, especially since he knows that this course is almost over. There are just a few days left until we don't get to see Loeb anymore, and he wants us to remember him as owning treasure. James 5:4. This one has two parts. First, as Loeb climbs the ladder, he hears through the window the sound of someone he's hired to mow his lawn, making a lot of noise. It reminds Loeb that he still has to pay the guy his wages, but as we just saw, Loeb is becoming attached to his treasures. He doesn't want to have to give up any of the gold and silver metal in his whistle just to pay someone who mows his lawn. Anyway, he doesn't like hearing the loud noises of the lawnmower in the morning, so he thinks to himself, "I'll just keep the whistle as a treasure to myself." But as he says this, the whistle yells, "Fraud!" as if crying out against Loeb's selfishness. Second, when the mower hears the whistle blowing, he yells up at the window, "When are you going to host me and my friends as guests in your house? We harvested your garden for you, and you said we could visit. When will you host us?" Loeb covers his ears because he doesn't want to listen, but he hears what the mower is saying anyway. James 5:5. In the attic, Loeb finds a pile of dirt with a bunch of other whistles sitting around on it in a strange formation. Loeb is surprised at the whistles. He keeps nice antique things in the attic, and here these whistles are just lying around on a pile of dirt, as if they have nothing better to do but to luxuriate and self-indulge in the cool, soft dirt. When Loeb asks them why they like dirt, the whistles reply, "We spend time sitting on piles of earth, because that way nobody picks us up and blows us. We fill ourselves with dirt." Loeb says, "So you just sit around in a weird formation that looks like a fat heart? You may be filling yourselves with dirt, but someday someone's going to come along and slaughter you all out of anger." They reply, "Wait, what do you mean? You can't slaughter a whistle." But Loeb isn't listening. He hurries out of there, leaving the hopeless whistles to themselves. James 5:6. In the toy room, Loeb is away from the other whistles, but he's still holding his own whistle. He looks at it and thinks, "I've basically just condemned all the whistles in this house. Should I murder this whistle? I don't think it's done anything wrong." The whistle just sits there in his hand, not doing anything. Loeb is surprised that it's so silent, so he says even louder, "I've just condemned all whistles. Should I murder you too by smashing you with this toy ball or crushing you under one of those yellow chairs? Eh? What do you think of that?" But the good little whistle doesn't respond or show any form of resistance. James 5:7. This one has two parts. First, Loeb's brothers are waiting impatiently for Loeb to play a card game with them in the library. They yell at him to come quickly, but Loeb yells back, "I'm coming as fast as I can." Second, in his rush, Loeb trips and falls off the spiral staircase. He drops the whistle on the head of a farmer who's sitting on the stairs patiently watching a dirty golden apple being washed clean by a small indoor rainstorm. Or maybe this is just Loeb's strange imagination as he's falling. James 5:9. Loeb's jumping on Libby's bed. Loeb's brothers grumble that he gets special privileges of jumping on the furniture while they've been forbidden by a court order from doing that, because they broke a bunch of furniture when they tried it. As they grumble, Libby's annoyed and says, "Don't grumble against one another, brothers." Meanwhile, Loeb gloats and teases them. He says, "Yeah, you don't want to be judged again, do you? Remember how badly it went with that judge in court?" And just to scare them, he shouts, "Oh, look! That judge is standing at the door!" and blows the whistle. He succeeds in scaring the brothers really badly at first, but when they realize he was just teasing, they grow even more angry at him and upset about their restriction from jumping on the furniture. James 5:10. On the theater screen is a video of Loeb in a turban jumping up and down with the whistle. He's a prophet. This movie is an example of suffering and patience because it's a movie about how Loeb the prophet got the whistle stuck in his mouth and couldn't speak prophecies until he got it out much later. Loeb's brothers are watching the movie.